it's Craig Anderson. This is my 57 panhead. 57 had an old style distributor with points and a mechanical advance. That was what all the motorcycles had, all the Harleys had, from 36 up until I don't know what year, but around 1970-ish, you got an improvement in that they came with an automatic mechanical advance, which meant you got rid of the manual advance that was on the handlebars. And shortly after that, they came out with a cone engine, maybe it was that year, which had the points in it still, but it was a fully automatic advance. So, the point of this video is that I tried to find information on these old point systems and how to update them on YouTube recently. This is March of 2017, and I couldn't find anything. I found something on the cone engine, but nothing on these old things, and nothing at all on the manual advance. So this engine, well, I started looking for information also on JP Cycles vintage catalog, and I did find information there. I found parts that relate to this conversion, and I was trying to find on the internet how to install them, although I probably already knew how to install them. So I ordered a kit for the distributor that's in this engine. I should start out by saying this is an advanced type of distributor. It advances based on RPMs. This distributor is available in that catalog, the JP Vintage catalog. It has weights in it, and as the RPMs pick up from idle to roughly 2,000 RPMs, it advances the timing automatically, so you don't have to turn the handlebar to get it to do it. The reason for all this is so that you don't get kicked when you're trying to start the engine. It's on a retarded position when you kick it, and then it advances up to where it runs best. The advance timing is supposed to be about 35 degrees. There is a plug on the other side of this engine that you take out to determine where that point is in the cycle of the engine. It's a line that's on the crankshaft. You can see it through the plug. Once you get this all set up, you put the plug back in. And with the old point systems, it was pretty much a constant hassle to be adjusting your points and then adjusting your timing. So if you have a modern electronic ignition in this type of distributor, it should stay tuned in. There shouldn't be any need to be retiming it all the time, and the points aren't going to wear out because they're stable. They don't wear. This thing doesn't wear. The original points did. Now I'd like to say something about the original points. If we were to have a major sun cycle or some kind of certain types of war-type explosions, they can knock out all the electronic ignitions and all your computers and everything else. So you probably ought to keep your points, maybe in storage. That way you'd still have a vehicle that runs. We will start by dismantling this distributor. First thing about it is that this aftermarket automatic advance distributor still has points in it. It's got a flat top cap, so it's different than the original one. The original one was cone shaped and it had a spring going across the top to hold the cap on. This one has a screw on it to hold the cap on. So So they don't look alike. If you're looking for a restoration job, you probably shouldn't use this distributor at all, but you can still use this in the old style mechanical advance. If I had that stuff, I would be using it. This bike came with this, so I'm not going to spend the money to change it over. The next step, I've already taken this apart, so I'm not having to take screws out there. This is screwed down when it's in the bike, so right now it's not screwed down. I'm just going to pull it off. This is the points plate. It's got a resistor on it, and the points, the problem with points is they wear. There's a little fiber gear here. That gear rides on a cam. The cam is right here. Now this system fires both cylinders every time the points open and close. And the points open and close every time this thing goes around twice. So it fires for the first cylinder, and then half a turn later it fires for the second cylinder. Well, it's not half a turn, but it's whatever this is. Bang, 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 bang. You know what they sound like. So I'm keeping this for future generations. It'll be up in the attic. The next part is that there's a bolt that holds the cam in. The bolt is tight, so you'll need I think this is a 9/16 wrench. That comes right out. On some of these, the cam is held in place by a clip instead of a bolt. I have no preference. I don't even know. I've never even looked at the other kind. But they probably work the same. Then the cam slides right off the shaft. The cam only goes on one way. Well, it actually goes on frontwards or backwards, but it only goes on right one way, so you'll be able to tell when you're messing around with it that the longer the slot goes to the front cylinder. The little pointed cam goes to the front cylinder, and the bigger, flatter cam in the back goes to the back cylinder. So every time this revolves, it fires the coil, and the coil fires both front and rear cylinders. There are more modern systems. If you want to get more modern, if you're a racer or you want a better idle, there are reasons why you might want to go to that. But I'm just doing it on the basic level. It'll start easier. I'm hoping start easier than a point system, and run without any of the points problems. Actually, points ran pretty well as long as you kept the RPMs down. And these bikes don't rev up high enough to cause points problems that way, but the racing engines did. So the kit that you get comes with instructions. I haven't read the instructions. It comes with advertising. Tells what it does. Fits most Harley V twin engines except magneto and twin cam. Uses traditional mechanical advance. Precise digitally set RPM limiter. I like that because if somebody gets on this bike and thinks it's a 10,000 RPM engine, they'll blow it up. I set all my engines, including my race engines for cars, at what their maximum horsepower production is, and then it stops. You can't rev it up past that. So I like the fact that this has a rev limiter. To me, that's important. It has a status LED for easy static timing. Okay, that's another really nice feature about these, is that in the old days you had to use, well, it was a very mechanical process to set the timing. I used to use a cigarette paper cellophane, which was very thin and clear, and you put it in between the points and pulled on it. You could get the timing to be quite accurate that way. Some people use a test light to determine when the points open and close. This has got the light built into it. should be much easier to get the timing right. It's compatible with the original ignition coil. That means that the original ignition coil fires both cylinders at the same time. If you go to the more modern kit that fires them separately, you need two different coils. They might be welded together. They might be together, but they are two different coils. So they fire one, two. This one fires bang every time, both cylinders. And it's a simple two-wire hookup. I haven't really got that figured out yet, but their wires are built in, and all they do is go to the top and the bottom of the coil. There's nothing complicated about this. One goes to the bottom of the coil, one goes to the top of the coil, that's it. So my next adventure, I'm not going to film it because it will take all day, is to set this up and see if it works. And like I said, the only reason I'm making this is so that it's an educational video for people that don't know how to do it. And I always go to the YouTube to review